What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you guys doing well. I tried to come to you live yesterday as I was flying back into the country from through Houston rather, but ran into some delays landing. We kind of circled Houston there for about 20 minutes, and it kind of threw me off because I had to go through customs and then recheck and all that stuff. So didn't get a chance to come to you live yesterday, but I'm live and direct today, baby. You might notice two different things. I got my color. I got the sun, boy. Woo, did I get the sun? Looks good in the camera. And then I'm going ahead and let this beard grow a little bit. You know, it was itching like crazy, but that shea butter got me right. So hope you guys doing well. Glad you tuned in. We got a lot to get to because the transfer portal was popping. I know I was gone for a couple weeks, but I did last week's show from where I was out of the country, and back at you now. But man, it doesn't stop. It is really going. But first, let me pay some bills. I want you guys to go to bardostribe.com and get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. It's a fun guide. I use hip hop and jazz songs and phrases to illustrate and give life to college basketball. Sometimes I think we get a little too over analytic, a little too stale, but this is a nice guide. So go get your free copy, and you can also sign up for the newsletter. There'll be a pop-up window. Put your email in and join the email list, because the newsletter is where things are going for Bardo's Breakdown. Facebook, I don't know if I'm able to go live today in the Facebook group because they've changed the API, a lot of stuff. But anyway, make sure you get your free copy of Triple Threat, and then you can join the newsletter, because that's where a lot of my stuff is going to go, towards the newsletter and kind of off of a lot of the social media platforms, because it's too unpredictable. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel, Bardo Media on YouTube. It really helps the channel grow. It helps teach YouTube to send people that love college basketball to the site. It really helps to grow it. So I really appreciate it. And don't forget, you can text me 312-847-2739 to join the newsletter and join the inner circle that is Bardo's Breakdown via text. So again, text me 312-847-2739. All right, let's get into it. Before we get into the transfer portal, let's talk about an important thing that took place this past week. Orlando Antigua comes back to Illinois as the associate head coach. You guys remember Orlando was formerly with Illinois. He and Ron Chin Coleman, both of those guys left for Kentucky with Calipari. Calipari goes to Arkansas, and many thought that Orlando Antigua would follow him there. But Orlando Antigua is coming back to Champaign, and Orlando is one of the highest paid assistants in the country at 7 figures. And he's well worth it. Not only a great recruiter, but a very good skill development guy for bigs. Why is that so important for Illinois? It's important for everybody, but why is it so important for Illinois? Well, you have Morez Johnson coming, Mr. Basketball in the state of Illinois, and his offense is a little raw. He's he plays hard, goes hard, very athletic, very strong kid, can face up, but if he wants to get his game to the next level, Orlando Antigua cannot be a better assistant coach for bigs and their skill development. So plus Orlando will be, there's some kids at Kentucky that I know that Boogie Fland is a point guard, 5-star point guard that committed to Kentucky. Now with Calipari going to Arkansas, he's going to visit Arkansas. But if Kylan Boswell is not in the fold at Illinois, you may have seen Boogie Fland look at Illinois as a possible destination. But one young player that will be looked at by Illinois is this young man named Ugonna Onyenso. Ugonna Onyenso from Kentucky. Now, this is a 7-footer that runs the floor very, very well. He's got decent touch in the post. I saw him make a few moves when guards were switched on to him. He took his time and got to his jump hooks on either side. And he's a guy that could come with Orlando Antigua. So I know Illini fans have been like, "Oh man, I don't know what is Brad Underwood doing? He's only got Kerry Booth coming in from Notre Dame at 6'10". And then, because Amani Hansberry is going to West Virginia, with departed Illini assistant coach Chester Frazier. So not only is Amani Hansberry leaving, but also Sincere Harris is joining Chester at West Virginia. And so a lot of people, I heard from a lot of Illini fans wondering, what is Brad doing on the interior? Well, be patient because of two things. One, Orlando Antigua coming and him having the possibility of bringing other players like Ugana on Yinso with him. And also the fact that the portal will close for underclassmen May 1st. May 1st, 11:59 p.m., you got to have your name in. So that's the cutoff date for underclassmen putting their name in. Graduate players, they can put their name in at any time. But the reason I say this and the reason I'm telling Illinois fans to be patient is because next week there's going to be another flurry of activity. We're starting to see it now as players are starting to see who is coming to their program. We're going to talk a little bit about this one guy in particular. But players are seeing who's coming to their program through the transfer portal. And guys, I mean, we are in, what is this? We're in the 23rd today. So it's April 23rd. So we are looking at about 9 more days or 8 more days to put their name in. So there's going to be, this next 8 days, there's going to be a flurry of activity. So be patient, Illini fans, because there's going to be bigs that will come available in the transfer portal that aren't available yet. But there's still some that are available. We'll get to that a little bit later because I've got a list of at least 100 that ESPN is ranked, ESPN.com, and we'll go through that list a little bit later on. But be patient, Illini fans and Big Ten fans in particular, because there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of activity left in this last 8 days of this portal window. Again, now we saw it last year, or maybe it was last year with Rutgers. They had 2 guys. Remember Paul McCahey and Cam Spencer? Those guys, I think Cam Spencer left in, I think he was in June and McCahey was in July. Like these were late guys getting into the portal. So I think that there's going to be a lot more activity left. So hold your horses. Don't get too upset, ladies and gentlemen of the Big Ten. The time is coming. All right, the portal's jumping. Let's get into it. The latest one that I don't think was much of a surprise because this was rumored even before Luke put his name in the portal that he was going to Indiana. You guys got to remember now, Luke Goode's family, a lot of his family is, I think his uncle played football at Indiana. I believe his dad may have attended Indiana. He's got like half his family has Indiana ties. So this is not surprising. And the fact that Indiana desperately needs perimeter shooting, he fits in well. But boy, are the Hoosiers cooking in the transfer portal. Boy. And listen, nobody's even talking about this incoming freshman, Bryson Tucker. Bryson Tucker might be the best player on that team. He's a future pro. He's a 6'6", 6'7" kid that can play point. He can play off guard. So all those Mike Woodson naysayers, Jeff Goodman, and others like him, I'll be interested to see how hard you're going to go on Mike Woodson now that he's got. I mean, Indiana's been ranked number 1 in the transfer portal, and the addition of Luke Goode is only going to bolster that ranking. So all that criticism about Mike Woodson and all this stuff, it's kind of quiet right now. I don't hear a whole bunch of naysayers talking mess about Mike Woodson and what is Indiana doing. You see what they're doing. They are stockpiling talent. And the fact that Trey Galloway may have to come off the bench, I mean, they're loaded. The problem that Mike Woodson's going to have is keeping all these guys happy because they are stacked. And that, once the transfer portal's done, one of the shows that I'm going to do is we'll do an update on what the rosters look like. And of course, once that first window closes, that doesn't mean that the rosters are all the way set. Remember, guys, Jeremiah Williams went to Rutgers late. I referenced the Rutgers players, Cam Spencer and Paul Mulcahy, that left late. There'll still be some movement. So we'll have to pay attention to this. But I like Luke Goode. I've gotten to know him as a person. I'm really happy for him. He's already graduated from Gee's Business School at Illinois, and he can further his business school exposure at Kelly Business School, which is very good at Indiana. So congratulations to Luke Goode. Good luck over at Indiana. We'll see how he does. I mentioned Connor Essegian before, but Gavin Griffiths also. So you've got two Big Ten wings that have now committed to Nebraska. Quietly, Fred Hoiberg's doing a fantastic job. He's got an older guard and another big from the Summit League, and I believe he's from North Dakota State. Now, I was alerted that Rink Mask will be back. I was a little surprised at that. Let me pull up their roster real quick. And it may not, let me see. But the fact, if Rink Mask is back, ladies and gentlemen, it gets real interesting over in Nebraska, right? So let's see here. They're talking Gavin Griffiths being added to the roster. I don't know if Seamus has updated the roster yet. No, they haven't updated the roster because Jamarcus Lawrence is still on here and Jamarcus is in the portal. But let me look. Rink Mask. Oh, man, yeah. He's a junior. So Mask is back. Bryce Williams is back. And then you add Connor Essegian and Gavin Griffiths. And guys, Chucky Hepburn's in the portal. Chucky Hepburn is an Omaha, Nebraska native. Is Chucky Hepburn going to end up a Nebraska Husker? Because if he is, Nebraska might need to be preseason top 25, ladies and gentlemen. So big ups to Fred Hoiberg and his staff at Nebraska. They're doing big things in the portal. All right, this next one hurt me a little bit. Elijah Hawkins, second leading assist guard in the country, is in the transfer portal. Now, this is an illustration of Minnesota's inability to maintain pace in the NIL space. Now, why is that the case? Because I'm going to look something up, ladies and gentlemen. Paul, Fortune 500 company headquarters. I believe the Minneapolis-St. Paul area has a lot of Fortune 500. This was an article in the Twin Cities Business magazine that Minnesota has 15 Fortune 500 companies that call Minneapolis-St. Paul home. 15. So then why is Minnesota struggling on the NIL front? Doesn't make sense to me. The only Division I school in the state for a good basketball market, excellent high school basketball market. Why is Minnesota struggling on the NIL? I don't understand that. Minneapolis, St. Paul is one of the more dynamic urban areas that the Big Ten footprint encompasses. So this one hurt me, guys, because I like the competitive balance when the Big Ten is competitively balanced, like we've seen over the last few years. This hurts Minnesota. And there's some others that I'll get to as well. All right, Frankie Fidler. This is a young man from Omaha that's commits to Michigan State. Michigan State fans have been a little disappointed that Tom Izzo did not utilize the transfer portal more exclusively like some of his other Big Ten opponents have. But Frankie Fidler is a nice size wing at 6'7" from Omaha, is over 17 points a game. I believe he was two-time all-league selection. I was looking at some clips of him. He's a big-bodied wing. So he's about 6'7". Looks like he's about 210, 215. He's a big kid. Does not mind physicality. Is a good spot-up shooter. Can also get it off the bounce. He does a little bit of everything. And so those type of players, like a Tyson Walker who came from the Northeastern Athletic Conference, I believe, NEAC. Those players at that level, when they're one of the best players on their team or one of the best players in their conference, they're able to do a lot of different things. So they're able to go off the bounce. They're able to catch and shoot. They're able to get to the glass. They have to defend. They have to do a lot of things at that level. And Frankie Fidler fits that bill. He's going to be a nice addition to what Michigan State's trying to do from a big wing standpoint. He can score. He's not crazy athletic, not going to be above the rim dunking, but effective and physical. And he seems to fit the mode of the old school Michigan State tough, physical, big wings. I think he's going to be a nice addition to what the Spartans are trying to do. Now, this young man, Trey Townsend, I saw him. I covered Oakland's upset at Xavier early in the non-conference slate. And Trey Townsend can play in the Big Ten, ladies and gentlemen. He's an undersized kind of a 4-3. He can play out on the perimeter, but he's not. He's more comfortable in the post area, but very physical. He would fit the Big Ten very, very well. Player comparison. Let me see. Who would Trey Townsend be like that you guys would remember? I'm trying to think of not Malik Renew. I think he's a better athlete than Malik Renew. He's not as big. He's like 6'7", where Malik's a legit 6'8". Let me think about the player comparison a little bit. But Trey Townsend, he can score it. He's physical. He's athletic. He'd be a good addition for any team. So I thought he was going to Michigan State, but he cancels his visit to Michigan State, and now it's down between Ohio State and Arizona. Somebody else who's quietly doing a hell of a job in the portals of Ohio State. We'll get to that in a second. So I'll be interested to see where Trey Townsend ends up. But keep your eye on this forward. Very, very talented and skilled forward that will have an immediate impact anywhere he goes. This one hurt me too, y'all. Pharrel Payne at Minnesota. He commits to Texas A&M. Texas A&M got that bag. A&M's got bags. So I can't fault the young man because there's another Big Ten player that committed to Texas A&M who I'll mention here in a second. But Pharrel Payne, extremely talented big at Minnesota. They just couldn't keep him for lack of NIL. And I think that all these players, they really enjoyed playing for Ben Johnson because he's a player's coach. He put them in position to be successful this year. Dawson Garcia is having, I think he's playing the best of his career, and a lot of that has to do with Ben Johnson and his staff. So it's unfortunate that the NIL piece is not coming together quite like it may need to be at Minnesota. So sorry to see Pharrel Payne go, but Texas A&M got a good one, and Pharrel Payne commits to Texas A&M. This is a good one as well. Mason Gillis, guys, who's not rooting for Mason Gillis? Graduated from Purdue, ultimate team player, ultimate glue guy. He commits to Duke. So He'll have another chance at a national championship, similar to what he had at Purdue, right? He's going to a blue blood program, going to an outstanding academic program. And I think Mason Gillis would be is that locker room veteran, tough presence that Ryan Young was able to provide for Duke. You guys remember Ryan Young from Northwestern, post player that left Northwestern that went to went to Duke, excuse me. I think Mason Gillis has way more game than Ryan Young ever had. So I think his impact will be felt immediately. And I'd be surprised if Mason Gillis wasn't in the starting lineup. And I don't care. I know they got the number one player, Cooper Flagg, coming. I know they lost Mark Mitchell. Mark Mitchell committed to, was it somewhere in the Big 12? Wasn't Baylor. Anyway, but Mason Gillis, I'm happy for that young man. He gave his blood, sweat, and tears to Purdue and was a great compliment to Zach Edey. So congratulations to Mason Gillis. All right, Sam Walters from Alabama commits to Michigan. Michigan's been killing it in the transfer portal as well. Reserve big. Let me pull up Sam Walters, Alabama. So this was a young man that didn't get a ton of tick, but at 6'10", 198. So we know what he's going to do. He's going to shoot the three. He's going to be a big that can space the floor. And let me see. He really didn't play a whole lot. College of Charleston, in the first round, he got in and got 9 points, played 13 minutes, against Grand Canyon as well with 3 points, played against North Carolina, Sweet 16, and had 5 points, had 12 minutes against Clemson, didn't score, had 5 minutes against UConn, didn't score. So he looks like he's going to be a guy that is going to have to get in the weight room, is a string bean, but I'm sure is skilled and will fit in nicely with what Dusty May is trying to do there at Michigan. So a nice pickup for Michigan. They also got the kid, where is he? From Yale. Is a big time pickup. And I thought it came through last week, but maybe it didn't. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to come up with his name here in a second. Danny Wolf from Yale. 7-footer. Put up 14 points and 10 rebounds. And is an all Ivy League selection and shot 35% from long range. So he's a perfect fit for what Dusty May and the Michigan Wolverines are doing. Kind of a big that can invert, can go in and out. So you're looking at both Danny Wolf at 6'10". Now, Wolf is a 7-footer and Sam Walters at 6'10"-ish. So nice front line so far. And we expect Vlad Golden of FAU to join Michigan. The holdup with, I think, Golden is going to be Michigan is very difficult on undergraduate transfers. But if you're a grad transfer, it's a lot easier. So I believe the holdup with Janelle Davis, the outstanding wing for FAU, I think he wanted to follow Dusty May to Michigan, but he's got to finish. He's got 12 or 16 undergraduate credits to be able to graduate. And so I think that's why Janelle Davis, we have not seen where he's signed yet or where he's committed to, because I think he wanted to follow Dusty May to Michigan, but he's got to finish some courses first and graduate. I think that's what Vlad Golden, the 7-footer from FAU, is going to do, is going to finish whatever credits he has left, graduate, then you'll hear him being announced coming to Michigan. So that gives Michigan, that will give Michigan Vlad Golden, a 7-foot, the young man from from Yale, Danny Wolf, is a 7-footer, and Sam Walters at 6'10". So if Vlad Golden gets into the fold at Michigan, they're going to be set on the front line. All right, C.J. Wilcher from Nebraska commits to Texas A&M. Outstanding wing shooter. I think that Texas A&M comes with that bag. Kind of hard to not follow that situation. So, and C.J. Wilcher had some really good minutes and experience at Nebraska. I think he fit in well with what Fred Hoiberg and the Huskers were trying to do in terms of spacing the floor, shooting threes at a high clip. He's going to be able to do the same thing at Texas A&M. And I believe, what is that kid's name? Wade Taylor, the fourth. I believe his eligibility may be up, as is Tyrese Radford, who I love. I love Texas A&M's backcourt this past season, but I believe Radford his eligibility may be up, and I believe the other young man is eligibility is up as well. So interesting to see. Remember, God told you Michigan's killing it in the portal. Trey Donaldson of Auburn commits to Michigan. Now, Trey Donaldson was a really high assist rate guy at Auburn. Didn't get a lot of time because Bruce Pharrel and his style of play at Auburn is to play pretty much two starting fives. So Trey Donaldson didn't get starters minutes necessarily, averaged 20 to 23 minutes a game, but a solid point guard with a very good assist rate. So I'm not sure that you're going to look for him to do a whole lot of scoring for Michigan, but he's a very good assist setup point guard that I think Dusty May was looking at who's coming back. I don't think you want to put George Washington at the point guard. He can play some point guard, but he's more of a combo guard. So Trey Donaldson will probably get the keys to the program when he hits campus. Ohio State's getting it done in the portal. We know that Roddy Gale Jr. from Ohio State committed to Michigan. We'll talk about Aaron. We'll talk about that next. But Micah Parrish, really good guard out of San Diego State with some size, commits to Ohio State. So Roddy Gale Jr. out, but Micah Parrish in. So Jake Diebler getting it done. Now, this was one that was a head scratcher until I did a little bit of research. Felix Okpara, very talented big for Ohio State, goes into the portal because last week, 7'1" Aaron Bradshaw from Kentucky committed to Ohio State. So here's the thing. This has happened twice that I've seen publicly. I remember Connor Essegian putting out a statement during the Big Ten Conference Tournament that he was happy as a Wisconsin Badger and that he was coming back. And then he gets into the portal, ends up at Nebraska. Felix Okpara made a statement, I believe it was April 1st. Could have been April Fool's, who knows? But he made a statement that saying he was a happy Buckeye and he was 100% coming back. So that's why I don't understand why these guys have to make these public statements. I didn't understand that. I saw Sharif Chambliss, the assistant for Wisconsin, during the Big Ten Conference Tournament. And I'm like, I said, Sharif, why did Connor Essegian make that? Why did he put out that statement? He said, man, guys in this era, they feel like they need to do that. I didn't understand why, because I didn't even hear of any rumors that Connor Essegian was going to leave in the first place. So ladies and gentlemen, when you see these players make a statement like, oh, I'm all in, or I don't believe it. Don't believe it. Because here's the thing. If their program brings in a player that is in their position, a lot of these guys don't want to compete for time, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, these players, they want guarantees, but then they don't want any expectations placed on them. That's the thing with these younger players today that cracks me up. They don't want expectation, but they want guarantees. So Felix Okpara leaves and enters the portal. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. Now, Rubin Jones of North Texas commits to Michigan. Remember I said Dusty May, so Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan, Illinois getting after it in the portal, right? Rubin Jones comes in from North Texas, and quietly, I think this guy here is under the radar because I think Dusty May is saying that he might be the best value guy in the portal, meaning that Michigan didn't have to pay a whole lot of money to get him, but that this guy has some upside that Dusty May is quite familiar with, having played against this young man because they were in the same conference, I believe. Okay, let's see here. So he played 4 seasons at North Texas. That's why he's able to transfer quite easily to Michigan. So he shot 42% from 3, 40% from 2, 12 points a game, right? 87 career victories at North Texas. This kid knows he is the school's all-time winningest 4-year player. He was all defensive team, all Conference USA defensive team in 2020. Not this past season, last season. He was on the all freshman team in Conference USA in 2021. Smooth shooting stroke. He's efficient on his catch and shoot threes. He's got a really quick burst off the bounce, and he's pretty athletic at 6'5". So in terms of a high value transfer guy that's kind of under the radar to everybody except for Dusty May and Conference USA, watch out for Rubin Jones, guys, at North Texas. He might be the steal of the portal inside the Big Ten this season in terms of the amount of money that they had to pay to get him and the impact that he's going to have. So look at what Dusty May's doing. He's going and getting high major transfers. Sam Walters, Alabama. Trey Donaldson, Auburn. Who am I missing? Somebody else from a high major. But he's able to get guys who he knows can play. Rubin Jones, if he's been on the all defensive team and he's 6'5" and he's athletic and he can shoot 42% from 3, I thought he should have been more highly sought after in the transfer portal, but Dusty May showing you he knows what he's doing. So that'll be interesting. Okay, this one was a head scratcher, guys. You typically don't see this, but Tom Izzo made it clear. He was asked about A.J. Hoggard, and is he coming back to Michigan State after, I don't know if he's in the transfer portal and he put his name in the draft, but he wants to retain his eligibility. I'm not quite certain on that. But Tom Izzo said, I don't know where he's going, but he ain't coming back to Michigan State. He made that abundantly clear. And you don't typically see that. But I guess that might be Tom Izzo having some rest after the season's over, Michigan State not really being in the mix, and him, like, do I want to deal with the headaches that dang, there's a glare on the screen here that caught my attention. I got to move that light. That's a little surprising. So A.J. Hoggard, he may be in the Big Ten, but it ain't going to be at Michigan State. All right. Another guy that's a little under the radar, Eli Rice. I don't know if you guys remember him from Nebraska. He's a 6'7" lefty freshman, can shoot the 3, can get downhill, is a nice body for a wing. He was really he was in the mix at Nebraska, then he got hurt. Once he got hurt and he came back, he was out of the rotation, and Nebraska was starting to roll. This is a really good pickup for Mike Rhodes at Penn State because Jameel Brown is in the transfer portal. And I don't know about Puff Johnson, but I think Eli Rice is a better version of Puff Johnson. Puff is a 6'8" lefty, but he settled way too much for the 3. He was a so-so defender, in my opinion. This guy can shoot the 3, can get downhill, is rugged. He's more physical than Puff Johnson. He's younger, so he's going to have at least 3 years of eligibility left. Really good pickup for Mike Rhodes and Penn State. All right, and so you Illini fans, relax. Oh, we talked about this, about Onyenso possibly coming with Orlando Antigua. Okay. Thanks for your like the portal. Bardo's breakdown is jumping with close to 100 live viewers right now. Let me get to your questions. All right, yeah, Kel, I'm getting a different look this summer. If my hair would do it, I'd twist it up. I don't think my hair will do it. And I'm gonna let this is all the dye coming out, but I'm gonna rock it and the gray. We'll see what happens. What's up, Brats? You know it. Portal Combat, that's a good one. OJ Smith, what's good, bro? Good seeing you. Thanks for tuning in. Kendrick Prince, hey, I tell you, Kendrick does a hell of a job. Kendrick, please put in where people can find your work. Kendrick slips me really good information, particularly about the Illinois program, but he's well versed about the Big Ten. Someone you need to really watch and follow. So go check him out. Thanks for tuning in, Kendrick. With Antigua and Anderson on board, we are blessed with two of the elite recruiters in college basketball. Can't wait to see what the future holds. Like it is 2023. Okay, I think this is your first time on Bardo's Breakdown. Welcome. Here's what I don't want you guys to make the mistake of doing. These guys are excellent recruiters, but that's not all they are. The reason they're elite is because they can skill develop as well. And Orlando Antigua has head coaching experience in South Florida. Now, it didn't go very well, but he's got head coaching experience. So these guys can, Orlando Antigua and Tim Anderson can not only develop players, they can recruit as well, and they can coach. Because Tim Anderson was an interim coach when oh my gosh, drawing a blank. Too much vacation. Dave, my guy. There was a coach at DePaul twice. Anyway, Tim Anderson was an interim coach for him for 3 or 4 games, maybe 3 games, and did a really good job. The dude can coach. So please don't put Antigua and Anderson in the boat of just elite recruiters, because they're way more than that. Way more than that. Like it is 2023. Thanks for tuning in. It's so crazy how college has pretty much become free agency. I'm a fan of it, as players should be able to move as they wish. I do think the NCAA will go back to the old rule of sitting out if you transfer. Nope. They just changed it, Jeremy, within the same level, barring existential circumstances. Nope. NCAA has abolished any kind of restriction on the transfer portal. So that's done. So get used to this, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Black? Yeah, Wisconsin needs to get busy. Yeah, Black, but here's the thing. Wisconsin, like Minnesota, I'm not understanding why they would have NIL issues. And I'm making this assumption, guys. I'm reading between the leaves here. Chucky Hepburn going into the portal, I gotta think that the guy that he's getting offers that are greater than what Wisconsin is willing to shell out for his services. And Wisconsin has great alumni support. I mean, really, it's on the level of Indiana's. So why they're struggling in NIL is a little bit of a head scratcher. I think there needs to be a really strong push of education for the local businesses that encompass these different Big Ten programs, to explain to them what the game is now. It's not what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's not the same game. It's a different ball game. And so I think that, Glenn, I think a lot of these programs need to go out into the communities that serve where the programs are located and talk to the business community and educate them on how important this is. Because if you don't have NIL money, you're not going to win championships. You're not going to be able to compete. So yes, they need to get busy, Glenn. You're right. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, Doug. Goode leaving wasn't a shock, but really liked him. I like him too. He played hard, and good luck to him. I agree, Doug. I agree on all fronts. Thanks for tuning in, my man. Jones and Yinso should be our top two targets. No, fly line I fly. I do not like David Jones. I go contrary to what everybody else thinks. I don't like David Jones. He's not a good defender. He has horse blinders on. He ain't passing gas. I'm telling you, he's not going to pass the ball. I'm not a David Jones fan. So I don't, because he's not won anywhere he's been. Everywhere he goes, he puts up numbers, but his team doesn't do anything. That says something. And I've covered a number of games that he's played. Not for my alma mater. Now he could go to the Big Ten, that's fine, but not to Illinois, because I don't. That's a pet peeve of mine. I didn't like players like that when I played, because guys who are like that have a selfishness about them. Elite scorers have a little bit of selfishness about them, and it's tough for elite scorers to be good team players as well, because you have to be so focused. To be an elite scorer, you have to be really focused on your game. And to get an elite scorer to be a good team player is a difficult mix. But no, I don't want to see David Jones in an Illinois uniform. On Yinso, yes. No, but not David Jones. OJ Smith has Coleman Hawkins decided what he will do. Yes. He's put his name in the draft. He's not coming back to college. That was it was a post today, actually. Let me see. Let me pull up Twitter and share my screen so you guys can see it. Because Tyler Underwood sent him a nice thing as well. But let me show you what Coleman Hawkins put up here. Let's see. Here we go. Let me share my screen with you guys so we can, where is that Twitter? Okay, can you guys see that all right? Let me blow that up a little bit more. See if I can blow that up a little bit. But here's basically, I don't know how to blow that up. He said, I want to start off by saying thank you to the University of Illinois, our coaching staff, and my teammates for giving me an opportunity that I will be forever grateful for. I also wish to thank the fans who have believed in me and supported me from day one. Everyone who has been a part of my college journey has helped build it into a special one. At this time, I feel comfortable enough to move on and start a new journey. I am 100% set on the 2024 NBA draft. Fighting for this program for the last 4 years has been an honor, but all good things must come to an end. ILL, Coleman Hawkins. Well done, Coleman. And big ups to Coleman Hawkins, man. The kid, he was a whipping boy of the fan base for a long time. He stuck with it. He's a throwback of a player that stays one place for 4 years. Salute Coleman Hawkins. Best of luck to you in the NBA. Whether you get drafted or not, you're going to find yourself in the NBA because your skill set fits what they're looking for at that level, and he's only going to get better, ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, Coleman's off to the NBA, and we wish him the best of luck. Are we going to talk about NIL situation at Michigan since Coach Howard was fired? Kale's on one today, y'all. I don't know if we'll talk about the NIL, Kel, because I don't know that these players are necessarily getting a ton of money. You're not going to have to pay a kid from Yale a ton of money, from North Texas a ton of money. Now, from Auburn, Alabama, they know about bags moving. So maybe let me do a little bit more research on that, Kel, and see if I can figure out what the deal is around NIL, because isn't it funny? There's a disturbing trend at Louisville, at Michigan, at Oklahoma State, at where else is the place where I saw a coach let go, and then all of a sudden, now NIL money is found. There's one more that sticks out in my mind, Kel. But yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? That these coaches that were let go were handcuffed by lack of resources, but the fact that the new coaches that are coming in, those resources are enhanced or they're promised certain things that their predecessors weren't given. So that is interesting, Kel. So yeah, I'll do a little bit more digging around and see if I can find out more about the NIL situation at Michigan, because I don't think Hunter Dickinson wanted to leave. But if you're going to double your money, and I'm just making an assumption, but if you're going to at least double your money, that's hard to turn down, especially from Kansas. So good point, Kel. Thank you for bringing that up. And always thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Medical Staffing Solutions. If it's your first time, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. Glad to have you. Hi, Steve. Hated to see Chester Harris and Hansberry go. Goody, because I thought he was a keeper of the culture for Illini, but I'm happy to get Coach Antigua back. I echo all those. Okay, Kel's talking about Coleman Hawkins. What's up, Cameron? Good to see you. I grew up with Cameron. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Good to see you. Coleman said he's leaving. He ain't coming back, barring something crazy. His market's coming back a real possibility. It doesn't look like it fly in the line. Fly. The longer this goes on, the NCAA takes their time with certain things they get right back to you. I'm not sure. I don't know what it looks like. I know he just finished up the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. He did not make the all-tournament team. However, Jameer Young of Maryland did. So a lot of times those players that make the all-tournament team at Portsmouth end up getting an invite to the NBA Combine. I would be highly surprised if Marcus Domask does not get invited to the NBA Combine. I'd be very surprised about that, but I'll keep you posted. Carol Poe Poquette, I always liked Mason Gillis. I was hoping he would commit to the Illini. Well, Carol, the Illini, they're wing strong. Ty Rogers, Jake Davis, Trey White. Am I missing somebody? They're pretty strong on the wing. And so I'm not sure that Mason Gillis was even looking to stay in the Big Ten. I think he may have wanted to get outside the Big Ten, and maybe Duke is very attractive in terms of, I know they gave him some NIL money. He could further his work for a master's degree. And Duke, the association with Duke speaks for itself. Okay, thank you, Fly. Mark Mitchell committed to Mizzou. Quietly, Dennis Gates is doing a pretty good job. Tony Perkins at Iowa. Mark Mitchell from Duke. Missouri's, they couldn't do anything but go up from last year because they were pretty bad. Goody's going to come back to bite us. Yeah, you know what? That's going to happen around college basketball, ladies and gentlemen, because look, these players are transferring within conferences. So that's just going to be something that you're going to see. That's, maybe we'll come up with a little moniker or something of payback time. Goody when he plays Illinois, or when Eli Rice plays Penn State, or when Gavin Griffiths and Connery Segan play Wisconsin. You get my drift. It's going to be, payback or come up its time or something like that. So we'll have to think about it, check it out. Let me know what you think would be a good name for that. Guys, it's not changing. I know you guys want to. I'm here for you, Jonathan, and other college basketball fans like you guys. I'm here for you. I'm your therapist because you guys need therapy. And the fact that you're not embracing the change. You got to embrace the change because it's not going back. The NCAA is not going to make any substantive changes that are going to affect player freedom and player compensation, because they were 40, 50 years behind. They knew they got over for 5 decades. And so they're trying to rectify their wrongs for decades. It's not going back. So just know that I'm your therapist. You can talk to me about it. You can vent to me about it. I'm here for it. Okay. That's not just Jonathan. That's for all of you that are struggling with this new reality. Because this is reality, guys. It's not going back. Okay. Oh, what's up, Rob? Sheehan. You cannot win the Big Ten with a freshman playing at center. It is so difficult to keep track of who is leaving, who is staying, and who is coming in. Go Illini. Well, Rob, if it's your first time to Bardo's Breakdown, thank you for joining. I appreciate you being here. Who's got a freshman at center in the Big Ten? You talking about Marez Johnson? I don't think Illinois is done, Rob. They're going to get a big or two because they lost Hansberry, they lost Dane Danger. They don't have anybody up front outside of Kerry Booth at 6'10". So they're going to go get some guys. So stay patient. And I know it's difficult to keep up. That's why you tune into Bardo's Breakdown. I got you. I'm going to keep you up to breast with who's going where and what impact they'll have, okay? What's up, Jerry Fryman? Good to see you on here. Illinois isn't going to recruit Boogie Flan now, according to Insider. They don't need to because Dylan Boswell is in an Illini jersey now. Boogie Flan will more than likely end up at Arkansas. He's visiting Arkansas with Cal. He originally committed to Cal. So we'll see. Flying Illini Fly says Flan is asking for like $600K more than that Xavier player. Might sound unworthy to the staff. Well, we'll see. Probably right. DGL and Boogie too much alike. Plus Kylan Boswell, guys. We're forgetting that the point guard at Illinois is here. He's a transfer from Arizona, the Champaign native, Kylan Boswell. Yeah, Carol, it was announced today that Goody's at Indiana, so that's not going to happen. At least we aren't Wisconsin. Everyone is leaving Wisconsin. Said, check it out. Said, yeah, they're having a tough time retaining their talent, and I don't know if it's NIL. I don't know what it is. I'm sure that's a big part of it, but it's kind of sad to see, right? But we'll see. Greg Gard's not going to sit still, though. They're working. Trust me on that. A number of high transfers, Love, Shannon, etc. When Juwan Howard was coaching, why are they so amenable now to the process of Robert Mitchell? Well, because why can't I remember this kid from Yale? Danny Wolf, Yale. All right, Danny Wolf. Here's the reason that Danny Wolf gets into Michigan, because he's an Ivy League guy. He's Yale. So if go back and look at Michigan's transfers, Smith was Columbia. What's the guard that he came back from a torn ACL this year? He was from Princeton. And this kid is from Yale. So if you're an underclassman trying to transfer into the Big Ten, they'll take a Ivy League transfer. But the other transfers that you're seeing that are getting into Michigan are grad transfers. The young, the kid from Auburn, I believe. Let me see. Well, you know what? I may be wrong. They might be doing something grade wise that I'm not aware of, Robert. Let me see. Let me look up something here. It may. That's a good question. And it might be what Kel was referring to, Robert, that Dusty May is getting assurances and certain things that Jawan Howard wasn't afforded. Could be. We'll see. It is interesting, though. I think Mike Woods is doing an outstanding job, Clint. If you look at the roster that they've got with Luke Goode coming to the fold, oh my goodness. I even put it on Twitter. People didn't like it, but Indiana's killing it. So I think he's doing a fantastic job. It kind of screws the current roster by signing guys at the end of the portal period. I don't necessarily agree with you. Check it out, 7, because if you've got a guy that's going to help your program, then if you bring in another guy over a player and he's better, I mean, that's the object of this sport is to win. If someone should, I don't know. We'll see. Do you think the verbal commitments are worth anything? It's a joke. It's more and more about the Benjamins. Talk means nada. I agree. And if PMR, if like check it out, 7 said, if like Felix Akpara, if they bring a 7-footer in and you're a 7-footer, then when Felix Akpara made his, verbal, I'm a Buckeye 100%, it's NIL, and if it's somebody recruiting over you, I think is the issue. Lauren Foster, I see you, but I don't know what you're referring to. What's up, Brad P? Don't like where we're going with this. Seems like Illinois is losing out on their targets. You guys, man. Has Brad Underwood let you down yet in terms of getting talent? Now, sometimes you can question certain things in game. You can question certain playing time with certain players. I don't think you can question Brad Underwood's ability to attract talent to Champaign. They've not had a lack of talent since he's been there, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't know if it wasn't that he wasn't welcome back. It's just that he needs to go and that Illinois wants to go in a different direction. I don't think it was that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it was that. Nico is likely leaving. Any 6'2" combo shooter slasher type guy we might be after. Somebody like Maddox, I guess. Think we need another guy like that. That's why I really wanted Maddox. No, DJ Gibbs Lawhorn. He can fit the bill. Gibbs Lawhorn is going to be a baller. And if Nico leaves, you still got Kylan Boswell, Gibbs Lawhorn, and Ty Rogers that can run the point. So I think you're okay. I hope Nico stays. I like his change of pace and what he could offer. I hope he doesn't leave. Dusty May putting a solid roster together at Michigan. They're one of the best in the portal so far. I like what he's doing. No need to panic, Illini. Have faith in Brad. He hasn't let you down yet in terms of getting talent. It's okay. It's only April. We're not even into May yet. Have faith. Hey, Dave, good to see you, my man. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Lauren. Good to see you, love. Yeah, Kyrie. Anybody that's not liking what Dusty May's doing, they need to reevaluate what they're looking at. I think he's doing a fantastic job. What's up, Thomas Dagley? I am too. He's in the line. He'll go down as one of the better Illini to ever put on the uniform. Dave Lato. Thank you, Donald. And that's my man, Dave Lato. So when Dave Lato had a suspension, Tim Anderson was the interim coach for 3 games and did a really good job. The Duke can coach. Mason Gillis, Ron. Good to see you, my man. Mason Gillis commits to Duke. Good pickup for them and good for him. Phil, we talked about this. Stay patient with Orlando Antigua coming into the mix and Tim Anderson in the mix. They're going to get their targets, guys. Just stay patient. There's also two sides of the story. Did Illinois get totally screwed? Bobby and Digger also piled on why. William, it set the program back. And put a kind of a cloud over the Illini program. And Digger Phelps was in on Dion and LaFonso Ellis a little bit earlier than him. So, I tend not to look back that far and just be happy about the Illini program now. Dave, Illinois might have the biggest NIL in the Big Ten. Indiana probably does, but Illinois is not far behind. So Josh Whitman, salute Josh Whitman, the AD at University of Illinois. He's probably done as good as any athletic director in the Big Ten of fundraising and imparting the importance of a healthy NIL bag. He's done a fantastic job with that. What's up, Kevin Lucas? The grade looks good on you, Bardo. What new program in the conference do you think has the most success fastest? Great question, Kevin. I was going to say UCLA, but they're having budget issues right now. And I'm not sure their NIL is really intact. It's going to be more difficult, I think, to get USC and UCLA alum to understand the need to put money into basketball. They'll give money to football, but on the West Coast for basketball, they're not quite as passionate maybe as we are here in the Midwest. So I would think Oregon, because they've got healthy NIL with that Nike backing. I'd say Oregon will probably have the fastest track to success of the 4 new programs coming into the Big Ten. That's a good question, Kevin, and thanks for the compliment. I got to get my skin right, bro. I got to get my complexion back so that when this silver comes back in, it'll be like dark chocolate and silver. It's going to be a good look. But thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. Fly, Illini, fly. Let me look at this kid. There's another group of people that break this stuff down. Sleepers Media, they do a really good job. They love this kid. And let me see if I can pull him up. Because I didn't look at a lot of the Valley this year. But this kid out of Evansville is really highly sought after. Ben Humrikas is a 6'9" forward, average 15 a game, just under 5 rebounds and 2 assists, and shot 48% from the field. Stats, let's see. So he's a 6'9" kid that looks like he can do a little bit of everything. And 42% from 3. He took 5 threes per game, ladies and gentlemen. Shot 42% from 3. So he's a 6'9" guy up front that can shoot the 3. And he's visiting Illinois this weekend. So there you go, Illini fans. Thank you for bringing that up, Fly Illini Fly. Sleepers Media, Carter and what's the other guy's name? They do a good job, and they love this kid. Ben Humrikas, I believe is how you pronounce his name. 6'9". Watch out for him. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. Yes, congrats to Coleman and good luck. The portal, you got to, if you're an underclassman in the portal, you have to put your name in by May 1st, 11:59 p.m. May 2nd is too late. So that's the deadline, May 1st. The draft, see if I can pull that up real quick. NBA draft deadline 2024. So let's look up the NBA draft process. Key dates. NBA early entry deadline is April 27th. So if you're early entry, you've got 4 days. You got 4 days to put your name in. Early entry withdrawal deadline is May 29th. So if you are NCAA early entry, that doesn't make sense. NBA early entry withdrawal deadline is June 16th. So the deadline to put your name in is April 27th. Early entry withdrawal deadline is June 16th, and the draft is June 27th. So there you have it. I hope that answers your question. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Brad P is on it. Ben Humrikas from Evansville. Ooh. Blake Vorera. Hope I said that right, Blake. Now, this is interesting. NCAA developing a pay system that would compensate mid-major programs that have become feeder programs for Power 5. I think it would be a win-win for both programs. Now, Blake's on to something. Blake is on to something. Because this is what it is now. It's poached the mid-majors for the high Power 5. I like this idea, Blake. I'm actually going to star this. We need to look into this a little bit more. I like that. Thank you, Blake, for tuning in and sharing that out of the box idea. We need out of the box thinking in this era. So this is great. Thank you, Blake. Let's see. Joe, what's going on? A player enters the portal. At that point, does the player forego his scholarship and has to leave the present college premises and hope for the best? Yes, Joe. Yes. And funny thing, I heard something where the reason there's going to be a big flurry here right as the deadline comes up 8 days from now is that very point. If you enter the portal, there might be a payment that you're still due. But if you enter the portal, they don't have to pay make that payment. So based on the way your contract is structured, because everyone's contract is different, but some players' contracts are spaced out where they get the payments at different points of the year. So some players right now, their payments are coming at the end of April or beginning of May. So you're going to see a flurry. And part of it is because guys are waiting to get that last chunk, or they may have a payment coming through that they want to receive before they put their name in the portal. Great point, Joe. That's why you guys got to come to Bardo's Breakdown, because the people that are a part of our community are very knowledgeable and very passionate about college basketball. And that this is a point that I haven't heard anybody else talking about, but this is a very good point. So thank you, Joe. Kevin is, Kevin, you're right. And it's going to be interesting to see what Vanderbilt's going to do now that they let Stackhouse go. Are they going to up their NIL bag? Rich Dre, he was outstanding in the Summit League, 2-time all-conference performer. I believe it's in the Summit League. Yeah, I think he's in the Summit League, but 2-time all-conference performer, 6'7", 6'6", 6'7", big body, good catch and shoot guy, can put it on the deck and score off the bounce. I think he's going to be a good fit for Michigan State. And Tom Izzo does not like going into the portal often, so I'm sure they did their homework on this young man, and I think they like who they got. Yeah, Kerry Booth is a stretch four. He's not really a guy that's going to be back to the basket much. He's more of a face-up four. So if you think about he and Ben Humrikas from Evansville, if they get him, you're still looking at a rim runner, shot blocker type. That's where on Yinso, that many think will follow Antigua to Illinois, would be the rim protector. So, but yeah, Kerry is more of a face-up four. Very athletic though. He possibly could check it out 7, but I don't think he is. I think he's going in the league. Damon Key, maybe. That's a good question. Are they holding grudges? Maybe. They better not though, because here's the thing, guys. These players talk. So if you've got a player that is coming back and say, "Look, man, I'm getting overtures from other schools, and this is what they're offering. Can you match it?" They better not get an attitude or hold a grudge because, for example, if Chucky Hepburn, who entered the portal, and I do not know this. I don't know any of this. I'm giving you a scenario that's made up. If Chucky Hepburn comes back to Greg Gard and their staff and says, "Look, I'm getting these offers, and they're 100, 200,000 more than what you guys are offering. Can you match it? Or what can you do about it?" You think Greg Gard wants to hold a grudge against Chucky Hepburn? No, because Chucky talks. All these guys are talking right now. So if you got a coach holding grudges against players because they're simply trying to find their market, it's not a good look. So I don't think so. Damon, maybe inside they might, but they better not do it outwardly, because it would be cutting off their nose to spite their face. Sky Clark and Goode next year. So Sky Clark is going to be at UCLA and Goode at Indiana. I believe that's the first time since Mark Smith. Going to be interesting, those games. No doubt. Simeon Fuller, that's a good question. I don't know where, let's see. Quincy Guerrier, NBA draft stock. Let's see. Quincy Guerrier. Some people had him as a projected second round back in January. Let's see. Real GM. Let's see if they've got anything on him. So he's put his name in the draft twice, in 2021 and 2022. I don't know what kind of feedback he got. So the pros are very, very aware of him. I'm not sure if he's going to get an invite or not, but that's the thing. The pros are very aware of Quincy. So it'd be interesting to see if he does, if not. I am Rich. I'm your therapist, man, because Bardo's breakdown attracts an older demographic because I built it on Facebook. Okay. So a lot of the people that are in our community are older, and they're so used to the NCAA college basketball being one way that this change is upsetting to them. So they need a therapist. And so I'm their therapist. So, I'm always doing something, always adding something to the mix. So why not college basketball therapist? Okay, so Oawi saw the interview with the Illini Inquirer with Josh Whitman. I need to go back and look at that. The only changes to NIL are what Josh said in his interview with Jeremy. Universities will get control of the dealings and not have to rely on third-party collectives, which is smart. It's the way to go anyway. Who's going to know more about their program than the program itself? Humrikus is a student of the game. Would love to get him. Think he's an awesome fit, says John Yee. It's gonna be interesting. Dave, I've heard that. I've heard that he and Underwood. I've heard rumors about that. I don't know. Maybe he knew that, or maybe he had an inkling that Orlando Antigua was going to be available and would willingly come back to Illinois, and that might have been it. I can't see there being a difference in opinion or difference of, like, they're not pulling in the same direction. You can't get to an Elite Eight as a college basketball program. You cannot get to that level without everybody pulling in the same direction. I mean, everybody. You got to have a solid locker room. You got to have coaching staff that's all moving in the same direction. So I don't know if I would think that that's unlikely, Dave, but you never know, right? Guys, don't forget to go get your copy of Bardo or get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. It's a free guide, ladies and gentlemen, where I have a lot of fun utilizing jazz and hip hop to describe the game. And when you get this free guide, you'll understand why I say some of the things I say. I give meaning to some of the things that I utilize. So go to bardostribe.com, BARDOS tribe.com. Get your free copy of Triple Threat. And you can also sign up for the newsletter, which I think is really important because that's the way that this platform is moving. Bardo's Breakdown is going to be moving more towards a singular platform, and a lot of the information will be shared on Bardo's Breakdown, but we'll have a membership portion, a paid membership portion, where I'm just going to have once a week for that community only. And all your questions will be answered. We'll have discussion in there. That's going to be coming soon. So look out for that. But go join the newsletter, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm telling you, you don't want to miss out. All right, get back to the comments here. Justin, I'm right with you. I love what he's doing as well. He's killing it. And he's serving notice to everyone else that y'all better get your bags together because Indiana's is intact. Make no mistake about it. Let's see. Let me get to somebody that I haven't called upon yet. Thank you all for tuning in. This is great. I. This is one of my talented sons. This is my oldest son, Stephen Paul. And he is quite a talented musician based out of Puerto Rico. He can flow in Spanish and Portuguese. I don't know that I've heard a song in Portuguese yet, but he can flow in that as well. Go check him out on YouTube at Stephen Paul. If you're still on and listening, let everybody know where they can find you. Find your music. Because I'm pulling up. Let's see. Okay. You all can hear that. Hold on. Okay. AF till death. AF till death. Death. Not deaf. AFTILLDEATH. AF till death. So, and Stephen Paul is an Illini. He graduated from the University of Illinois, like his mother and his dad. So, proud of that young man. Keep doing your thing, Stephen Paul. Please put your link in, but go to AF till death on YouTube and go check him out because the The man's got some flow, y'all. He can sing and he can rap, and he does it in multiple languages. Very, very skilled, very, very talented. Got to get him to how do you say it? Got to get him to do a theme song for Bardo's breakdown, but he's gonna charge him an arm and a leg. Love you, Stephen Paul. Thanks for tuning in, man. Bardo, the Illini therapist. I'm here for it. I think I'm gonna need a session with Harris after Harris left. Phil, I got you. Phil, I got you in particular because Phil rocks with me on every platform. Thank you, partner. I appreciate your support, and he's given me very good information when I was misled on some things. So, Phil, thank you. Big ups to you, my man. Go to 3. Oh, thanks for tuning in, Dwight Miller. Hey, what's up, Dwight? Y'all, this is one of this is one of my mentors and good friends, Dwight Miller, very successful retired businessman. You guys in the Champaign, Urbana area may remember Dwight. He had a number of McDonald's. He owned a number of McDonald's in the central Illinois area, was a supporter of Illini athletics, and is a great dude and a hell of a dancer, a ballroom dancer. Dwight can get it, y'all. So my man down in St. Pete, big ups to you, Dwight. Thanks for tuning in, bro. Hope you tune in more often. Love to see you. With everyone leaving, going to 2 and 3 schools, players can have legacy of schools like when player. Yeah, that the legacy piece is out. There'll be some players like Coleman Hawkins that will stay 4 years. It will be an enigma. There'll be a few, but there won't be a ton. So yeah, those days are over. Flying a line, fly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm here as your therapist to hit Illini fans. Do this for me. What is it? Yeah, do this. Take your index finger, your thumb, put your hands out, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, hold it. Now let it go. Now, don't you feel better? Don't you feel relaxed? Understand that Brad Underwood has everything under control. The transfer portal will be open for a little bit longer. And for grad transfers, Illini fans, it will be open for the rest of the summer. So keep the faith, stay calm. From your therapist, Stephen Bardo. Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Sincere said he's not leaving as well. So did on Yinso, I believe, and a few other guys as well. I can't remember. Yeah, I mean, fly line I fly. Guys, look, they're 18 to 22 years old. I get it. At the time, they felt like they were 100% committed, and then things change. So that's the nature of what we're dealing with right now. Some of these guys are getting emotional. Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it. Carol, good question. I like what Fly Line I Fly said. Onyenso, Booth, and Merez up front. And then why not bring Henriquez from Evansville 6'9"? So now you're looking at Onyenso 7'1", Booth 6'10", Henriquez 6'9", Merez is 6'8", 6'9". So all those concerns about the front line dissipate a little bit, Carol. That's who I'd like to see. Revenge, redress, payback. David Crute, Hoosiers, baby. I hear you, David. You should be happy. Hoosiers doing that thing in the portal. No, would not want RJ Melendez back. I saw that he entered the portal. No, wouldn't want him back. Mike, the kid is uber skilled. He's a pro. Does he make Duke an immediate Final Four? No. Because Duke lost Jeremy. What's the kid, man, that went, hold on, let me look him up. The senior guard from Duke. He just committed to Baylor. Wait a minute. My vacation brain is still messing with me. Jeremy Roach. So unless they can get some backcourt experience, I don't see them being an immediate Final Four choice. Just because Flag's a pro now. He can go. He can go. But I don't see them. I see them needing more pieces. What's up, Greg? Yeah, you know it. You know it. It might be as fun as your New York trip when you came to support the Illini when they smacked Rutgers. It could be similar to that, my man. Yeah, Thomas Onyenso, Ugona Onyenso, the 7'1" center from Kentucky. That's the guy that I think would probably join the Illini. That's who I'm thinking, and there could be others. We'll see. Bob, I think because Indiana may pay him more money than Illinois was going to offer him, and Indiana desperately needs his shooting more than I think the Illini feel like they need his shooting. So I think those are some of the reasons why he left. Okay, John, thank you for that. Reekhouse. Thank you. I appreciate that. Reekhouse. Is it Ben Reekhouse? Is how you pronounce the young man from Evansville. Oh, check it out, 7. I lost a pound on vacation. I don't play, guys. I've got the DNA of Lana and Harold Bardo. And I'm grateful for that every day. I'm trying not to mess it up. So I get after it. When I go on vacation, part of what I like about vacation is that I can work out regularly. I don't have to move around. I can go get that workout in. So check it out, 7. Maybe I'll do a portion of a show to break down what I do. But I'll tell you this: 95% of what you're trying to do from a health perspective is everything you put in your mouth. You cannot outwork a bad diet. You can be David Goggins. You guys ever see David Goggins? I love his motivational stuff. The guy runs ultra marathons. He's a freak of an athlete, and he curses and he gets after you. Kind of a military dude. I think he's a Navy SEAL or something like that. Anyway, even with his regimen and his workout, if he was eating like crap, so my diet is as boring as most people that you'll find. Check it out, 7. But I'll get into it more. I'll pick a show where I devote a segment to my health routine, fitness routine. Oh, thank you, Mac. I appreciate that. And thanks for tuning in. I think this might be your first time. If it is, welcome to Bardo's Breakdown. Guys, if you're on YouTube, joining from YouTube, please like, share, and comment and subscribe to the channel. It really helps the growth of it. And YouTube is a lot more steady than Facebook. Facebook is making changes. I think I said this earlier, to their API on the Facebook groups. And that's what I was really building up. And we've got over 4,200 people in the group now. But the fact that I can't go, I've got to do something else to go live in the group is very irritating to business people, small business owners like me. So I'm trying to really grow the YouTube platform because it's very consistent, it's very clear cut, and there's no surprises. So please join me. If you're on Facebook, join me over at YouTube. I'm not going to abandon the Facebook situation, but I'm not going to be as aggressive in that as I'm going to be pushing people towards YouTube and my own platform where we're going to really get busy. So thank you for tuning in, and please like, share, subscribe, and comment to these. It really helps. Yeah, Jason, he's going to Indiana. He committed to Indiana. It was either yesterday or earlier today. Connor, I think they could do it probably because they need bodies on the roster, so they could easily do 5 or 6. Maybe not 5 or 6. I got to look at the incoming freshmen. But they could easily do four more transfer portal additions easily. Yeah, Chad, I think, he knew Sincere wasn't going to get playing time this year, the type of playing time that he felt that he wanted. And then, situations change. So whatever they told Sincere may not be in the mix right now. So things change. Okay, see, that's what I thought. 4 more in the portal. That sounds about right. No, Chad. The quarterbacks, the highest NIL college athletes. Let's do college athletes. Shedeur Sanders, Colorado, $4.7 million. Oh my gosh. Wow, hold on. Got to put something in here real quick. All right, did that. Shedeur Sanders, quarterback at Colorado, $4.7 million. Bronny James, $4.5 million at USC. Livy Dunn, $3.7 million. What did she do? I don't know. I can't tell what Livy does. But she's $3.7 million. Arch Manning, $2.8 million, and he didn't even start. Quarterback. Cornerback Travis Hunter at Colorado, $2.4 million. Quinn Evers, quarterback at Texas, $1.9 million. So the starting quarterback makes less than the backup quarterback by $900,000. Number 7, quarterback Jalen Milroe, Alabama, $1.6 million. Quarterback Carson Beck. I don't even know where Carson Beck is quarterback at. $1.5 million. Evan Stewart, wide receiver, $1.4 million. Jackson Dart, quarterback, $1.4 million. So that is the top 10. And there's one college basketball player, because he's LeBron James' son, Bronny James, at $4.5 million. Wow. Must be nice. Thanks for that, Chad. Yeah, Connor. I think Illinois probably pushed for him, but when you've got Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, you got bags that might be slightly bigger than Illinois. They push for him. But here's Fly Line I Fly. UNC, Duke, Kentucky, UConn, and Kansas. I don't know that you can match their bags, because that's basically what we're looking at. Let's see. No, Ty's in the mix. He's not going anywhere. Ty Rogers, he's not put his name in the portal. I think he'll be back. Carol, I got you. I got you. Donald, I'm your guy. I'm your therapist. We can work through it, Donald. So we're gonna work all this off season to get ourselves accepting of this new reality, accepting of this change. We're gonna be on Bardo's breakdown. We're gonna break down all the team rosters so that you guys know, you'll have a chart of your team and the players on your team, and kind of a preview of what they can provide for the program. So I got you. No, I was actually in Mexico and Panama. I went to see my son. Was it Dang, was it last fall? I think it was last fall. That's a shame. Got to see my boy. I do need to go back to Puerto Rico, but it wasn't. I didn't go there for vacation. I went to Mexico, and I'm not telling you where in Mexico because I don't want y'all to go because I don't want y'all to mess it up. And I went to Panama City, Panama, because I love Panama. But this spot in Mexico, y'all gonna look up one day and be like, "Where did Bardo go?" I'll be speaking Spanish. So Chad, if you're talking about who's staying for Illinois, it's Ty Rogers, Nico Moretti, Gibbs Lawhorn, and if they've got incoming freshmen or whatever, that's who's staying. Michael, that's really up in the air. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure. He's trying to get another year. That process may take a while. In the meantime, I know he's preparing himself at the next level. We'll see. Yeah, Justin, I spit him out, and he's 6'7". He's got me by a half inch to a half inch. He's taller. He's slightly better looking because he kind of looks like his mom too. So he's slightly better looking, and he's way smarter. $5 Tommy, maybe that's a possibility. That's a distinct possibility. I've not heard people mention that. I was thinking that to myself quietly. It's a possibility. Oh, okay. Can I type my did Stephen Paul put it in there? Oh man, he didn't put it in there. Hey Jill, where in Mexico are you right now? I'd love to hear where you are. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Let me know where you're typing in from or where you're listening from. Damascus is like 25. Time to get a job, bro. If the Illini are going to pay you $500,000, I'd say that's a job. I'd say that's a job. Shree thinks that if Domas comes back, the Illini will be a Big Ten contender. Carol Poquette, here you go. Type this in YouTube, and Stephen Paul's site will come up. This is his site, AF Till Death. And the thing that you guys, the older portion of my audience, you guys will love Stephen Paul's music because he's not cursing, he's not demeaning women. He doesn't do all that stuff. He's a cerebral cat. He tells great stories. He's a great writer to begin with, like his mother. He's a great writer. And so you'll hear it. And when you listen to his music, you have to listen to it several times because you'll miss stuff because he's so clever with the way that he writes. So go check him out. Carol, that's for you. Thank you. Check it out, 7. Thanks for putting that in there. John, Biggs are coming. They're coming. Underwood is a used car salesman, one of the shadiest dudes in the business. Why do you think that, $5 Tommy? Why do you think Underwood's shady? Because he's successful in attracting talent? He's successful at coaching a program and bringing the Illini out of the depths to the top of the Big Ten? Shady? I'd like further clarification on that. Thank you, Shree. I had to be popular on social media to get that kind of NIL bag. Had to be. Now, Shree, I'm with you on Janelle Davis. I don't know about DJ Wagner, but I do like Janelle Davis, and I hope that the Illini can get in on him because he is a Gary, Indiana, or East Chicago, Indiana native. So he'd be a lot closer to home, and I think he'd kill it in Brad's system. So I hope that that's what it is. Yeah. Well, Jeremy, Nebraska was going to Rutgers here for the last few years. That's cross country. Yeah, it's going to happen. Money talks. Conference realignment talks. So UCLA, but here's the thing: It's not going to be like UCLA's got to be at Rutgers on Thursday, and then they got to be at Washington on Saturday. They're not going to do it like that. When the West Coast teams come east, they're going to get at least 2 or 3 games on each trip. So that's how it's going to be. It's not going to be a one-off situation. Not a lot. Not a lot. Jeremy, do they go to divisions within the conference? That's you know what? They're going to have to do something like that. They're going to have to do something like that. So we'll see what happens. But they'll be creative with how they do it. But they're gonna protect those teams as best they can. All right. Okay, guys. I think that's about it. I think that's it for man. I had a ton of comments today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to go and get your free copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. You can get the free guide, plus you sign up for the newsletter, which is growing like crazy, guys. Get on the newsletter. I can't stress that enough. Please join the newsletter, because if you don't, you might miss out on some important announcements, because we're growing. You guys see the numbers of live people. I'm going longer and longer because we're having more and more people, and I'm trying to get to your questions. So please join the newsletter and go pick up that copy of Triple Threat, Stephen Bardo's Guide to Basketball Terminology. Join the newsletter and like, share, and subscribe to this channel, Bardo Media on YouTube. It really helps the growth. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much for watching Bardo's Breakdown. And until next time, holla, y'all.